British comic creator R.E. Burke banned from visiting USA for 10 years. Imagine this. A British comic creator, sketching her way through life, suddenly finds herself handcuffed, locked in a U.S. detention cell, and slapped with a decade-long ban from the land of the free all because of a backpacking trip gone wrong. This isn't the plot of a dystopian graphic novel. It's the real-life saga of R.E. Burke, a Welsh artist whose brush with U.S. immigration law has left the comics world buzzing. In this video, expect a roller coaster ride through Burke's harrowing journey from her dreamy North American adventure to 19 days in a concrete cell. And finally, her deportation with a 10-year exile stamped in red ink. We'll unpack the why, the how, and the fallout, revealing the raw power of immigration rules and their unexpected grip on even the most innocent travelers. The dream that turned into a nightmare. R.E. Burke, known to her fans as Becky, never saw it coming. A talented illustrator with a knack for weaving humor and heart into her comics, she set off in late 2024 on a 4-month backpacking odyssey across North America. Armed with a tourist visa under the Visa Waiver Program, a perk for UK citizens allowing 90-day stays, she planned to soak in the landscapes, crash with host families, and maybe sketch a few panels along the way. It was the kind of free-spirited journey artists dream off a chance to live the stories she'd later draw. By the 26th of February, 2025, Burke had crisscrossed the US and was ready to hop the border into Canada. She'd been staying with American host families, offering to pitch in with chores like dishes or gardening in exchange for a bed nothing unusual for a budget traveler. But at the Canadian border, the dream screeched to a halt. Officers didn't buy her story. Suspecting she planned to work illegally by helping a Canadian host family, they turned her away. With no choice, Burke headed back to the US, straight into the jaws of a system that doesn't mess around. Handcuffs and hard time. Back on US soil, Burke's nightmare kicked into high gear. US, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, didn't see a quirky comic artist with a sketchbook. They saw an illegal alien who'd violated her tourist visa. That bit of housework for host families? To ICE, it was work. A big no-no under the Visa Waiver Program's strict rules. Handcuffed and stunned, Burke was whisked to a detention facility in Tacoma, Washington, a place far removed from the cozy conventions where she'd once signed comics for fans. For 19 days, Burke lived a reality she could have scripted into a horror comic. Concrete walls, a thin mattress, and a single change of clothes became her world. She later recounted the indignity of begging for sanitary pads and the eerie silence broken only by the clanging of metal doors. Communication was a lifeline cut off, her phone confiscated. Her pleas to contact her family ignored for days. It was like being erased, she'd later say, her artist's eye capturing every grim detail for a story she never wanted to tell. The ban hammered drops. On the 18th of March, 2025, after nearly 3 weeks of detention, Burke was deported back to the UK. But the punishment didn't end with a plane ticket home. Tucked into her deportation papers was a 10-year ban from the US, a standard penalty under US immigration law for visa violations. Until 2035, the country she'd explored with wide-eyed wonder was off limits. No more San Diego Comic-Con sketches. No more road trips through the Rocky Shore American chapter was closed, sealed with bureaucratic finality. Why 10 years? Section 212 of the Immigration and Nationality Act gives U.S. authorities broad power to bar entry after violations like overstaying or working without authorization. Burke's case, though seemingly minor, tripped that wire. Her story isn't unique. Thousands face similar bans yearly, but her prominence in the comic scene made it a lightning rod. Fans and fellow creators rallied online, hashtags like #FreeBeckyBurke trending as her tale spread. The fallout: comics, conventions, and caution. Burke's ban sent shockwaves through the creative community. Comic conventions, those bustling hubs where artists like her thrive, suddenly felt riskier. If it can happen to Becky, it can happen to any of us, one UK illustrator tweeted, eyeing their next US gig with unease. The incident even nudged the UK government to act, updating its travel advisories in April 2025 to warn citizens about the US's zero-tolerance immigration stance. Even helping with dishes can land you in hot water, the advisory quipped, a nod to Burke's plight. Back home, Burke didn't waste time wallowing. By the 7th of April, 2025, the day I'm writing this, she'd already begun channeling her ordeal into art. Her next project? A graphic novel weaving her detention story with those of others she met in Tacoma. "It's not just about me," she told a Welsh newspaper. "It's about the people who don't have a voicer, a pencil." The comics world awaits this work with bated breath, expecting a raw, unflinching look at a system few outsiders see. What went wrong? So how did a backpacking artist end up in this mess? It's a tangle of rules, assumptions, and bad luck. The Visa Waiver Program is a double-edged sword, convenient for short visits, but unforgiving if you step out of line. Burke's work for host families, innocent as it seemed, crossed that line in the eyes of both Canadian and US officials. Canada's rejection set off a domino effect, and the US, ever vigilant about border security, pounced. Add in a lack of legal support during detention common for visa waiver entrants, who waived certain rights, and Burke was trapped. Her case shines a spotlight on a broader truth. Immigration laws don't care about intent. Whether you're a tourist snapping selfies or an artist scrubbing a dish, the rules are ironclad. Burke learned that the hard way, and her story's a wake-up call for anyone crossing borders with a casual, it'll be fine attitude. A cautionary tale with a creative twist. Burke's saga is more than a personal tragedy. It's a mirror held up to the complexities of global travel in 2025. For her, the ban's a decade-long detour, but she's not letting it define her. That graphic novel in the works? It's her middle finger to the system, a way to reclaim her narrative with every stroke of her pen. For the rest of us, it's a reminder. Even the freest spirits can get caged if they don't know the rules. As the comics community watches her next move, Burke's tale leaves us with questions. How many other travelers skirt these lines unknowingly? Will her band chill the wanderlust of other creators? And can art like the kind she's crafting now shift the conversation on immigration? One thing's clear. Burke's story, born in cuffs and concrete, is far from over. It's just getting inked. What's your take? And there you have it, Burke's wild ride from comic panels to prison bars. A tale that's equal parts shocking and inspiring. What do you think about this? Was the US too harsh on a well-meaning artist? Or are strict rules the price of border security? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your take. If this story hit you as hard as it hit me, give it a like, share it with your crew, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell icon too, so you're first in line for more wild updates like this. Burke's story isn't over, and neither is ours. Let's keep the conversation going.